Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Monday, January the 13th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and it's a pretty good trading day. Started out looking like we were going to have an uptrend, and things reversed, and the market's been selling off pretty strongly since that point. Um, if you notice this line down here, this was what I considered the first leg down. And then, so I was looking for a measured move from this point down that would equal this first leg. This is first leg. So that line right there is the target I was shooting for. And you can see, well, we bounced right off of it. So I hadn't moved this over, and we'd been chopping around. I didn't think we got there, but we made it out. We hit it actually basically to the tick. You can see there. So interesting. But let me just show you that so you can see it. But I was thinking we didn't make it, but obviously we did. It looks like we overshot it by one tick. You can see that right there. So that's what I had for my target, and we overshot that by a tick or so there. So that's what I usually use to keep me in. And even though I was using this for my channel coming down here on these trades, it looks like there is a bigger channel most likely. Let's just double check it here. If you draw that, I originally probably would have drawn that like that, but if you just draw it right off those first couple of swings up there, first few bars right in there, you can see that catches it all the way down until here. Let's just see if we can get this to, oops, I drew too many lines there. I'm sorry. Let's see if this will fit. And yeah, you can see that that pretty much fits on the low side. I'm going to guess that's probably it right there. We overshot it a little there and overshot it again there. But that would have gotten you into the rest of these trades. But I also would have drawn another short-term trend line, and that would have got you to the same place. And you can kind of see that right there. Let's get the bigger one out of the way just so it doesn't confuse you. Actually, probably right there. And that still would get you to the same place. And there's probably a median line in there somewhere like so. And you can see that. So there's different ways to get there. But I always draw the current little, trend lines and try to keep up with them. But let's talk about, I traded up to about noon. This was the last trade that I marked that I saw because I wasn't watching the chart after that. So let's show you the trades I saw. Again, if you're new to following, watching our chart lessons or studying our chart lessons, we usually mark the trades from about 7 a.m. to about noon time. And even though there's other trades out here during the afternoon, we usually don't talk much about them. So, but let me show you what I saw. This was the first trade I saw this morning after about 7 o'clock. It was right at the open. Notice that your prices are kind of working down. You got a little two-legged move down. We've seen that a lot lately. Then we kind of rally back up to test the highs. But there's a failed second entry short here. Notice the new low, and you're coming up. You got your first entry. You pull back your second entry. It fails. So you got a short trap. You go long there. Easy scalp, and then you're waiting on it to come back to the other side again. And then you get another failed second entry short, first entry, and then a second entry, and it bounces right off that. You might have gone long above this bar, but you could have waited and gone long on this one when you got the little move down. If you did go long above this one, if you had your stop one tick below, you would have got stopped out. If you had it two, you were fine. And I usually keep mine two in this for that reason, because it's amazing how many times you get that one little tick. And they just trap people, and then it turns up. And there's really kind of a little congestion area right here. So you might, if you didn't go long above that bar, you had to wait. And because it's starting to look like congestion there. And that's a good enough reason to maybe not go long there. But there is that trap. And so it just depends on how you saw it, but you could have gone long there or jumped on here. But if you went long here and used a one tick stop, you probably got stopped out. So, um, but then there's the failed. You got you got a second entry long there off the. You got the trap and then a second entry long right here. And there's your first move up, your pull back. There's the first bar that went lower than the previous bar, and then it turned up again. So I like that one, either adding on or jumping in there. That was really the safer place. And it's also a breakout pullback long because you got all these matching highs across here. You can see that it breaks out and pulls back and bounces right off the EMA. So that was a nice setup there. I like that one a lot. I didn't like going long here because we weren't back to the EMA. We really didn't make a new low or anything there, and it's just a two-legged move up basically off this new low here. And we just came right off the trend line again, and we're heading back. It was tempting to go long here, but I didn't like the setup because you know there's not a good enough setup. It's not off the EMA. It's not a real strong trend, so you're better off to wait on the second entry, which came here. Again, an easy scalp, but once it tests the underside of the trend line, it just turns down, and that's a second entry short. Uh, it's a two-legged move. It's a bounce right off the trend line, so I like that. It's a big reversal bar, so I kind of like that one for a short. It's a little more aggressive because we don't have a new high yet. We kind of had this trend channel working up, and we had to break, but we didn't have a new high yet, so. I thought it was a little bit risky. It is a two-legged move up, and it tests the underside of the trend line. And if you took it, guess what? Any runners were safe, and you could have written this thing all the way down the rest of the day. If you didn't enter here, you got another really great entry here. Again, your runners were safe, and you still got to ride them out. But this is just a breakout pullback short. And then this one was a little more aggressive, but it's a failed second entry long right here. And again, it's a reversal bar. It did back up, but notice it never went higher. Let me make this a little bit bigger. It might be easier to see. Notice that it never went higher. I didn't like going short here if you weren't already short because now it's kind of a little congestion, and there was a good chance that we may break lower, then turn up and trap everybody, and then turn down. But it just continued on down. So, and again, your runner was probably safe there. Should have been safe, and you could ride this all the way down. Then you got this to now that this is looking like a pretty good downtrend, and there's another pullback and a nice reversal bar right there. Again, another chance to get short. You probably wanted to wait on this bar. It's not a very good setup, even though that's your signal bar, and that's where your stop's got to go. It's not a very pretty setup, so you probably got to wait on this bar. And it was good for a scalp. They did come back and get the runners on that one, but you got another chance to enter here. There's your failed second entry long. Look at that big reversal bar, and you're looking for a new low. So another chance to get short right there. Again, no runners on this one. But there's another good move. And there were several other trades all the way down through here. Like I said, I did not mark them, but there's several more trades all the way down through here. Here's another one that's a good one. You could have entered here or here. It's a double top. This was the better one because that's congestion, and it's off the EMA. Again, another nice little move, and it bounced a perfect measured move. And you should have been looking, once we continued to go lower like that, that would have been what that would have been my recommendation. Go ahead and figure out your measured move, mark it, and look, we got right to it, and we've been rallying ever since. And so it always, it doesn't always work out, but it's amazing how many times it does work out to the exact tick or within a tick or two, just like it did that time. And so that's what you're looking for. And sorry, I had a little bit of interruption there, but can't remember where we were. But again, there were some more trades down through here. It was kind of an interesting day. There, it looked like it was going to either be a trading range day or a trend up. This really looked like a trading range, like we were running to the highs and then maybe going to come back down. But it just continued to sell on off after we started downhill here. And it was a pretty good, I wouldn't say pretty good, it was a really nice trend down with two equal legs. and a lot of chances to make some money today. So what's interesting is that what looked like was going to be a rally ends up selling off, and we don't even really have any news today. There was no news. This was not news driven or anything, which usually is what will cause a reversal like that. Um, Nothing like that today. Just a good downhill trend from about. It started, late morning. I would say the trend down started here. Um, this was the high, but the trend down didn't really start till here. So, and that was what I saw today. So I'm not going to continue to drag this out. Hopefully you had some good trades today. And again, there's a lot more of them in here. I'm not going to talk about all of them. But even if you came in the afternoon, there was a chance to make some money today. So hope you had a good trading day. We'll be back to do it tomorrow. And but for now, I'm going to wrap it up. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next